I'm Dr. Aurelor Holtzman here with my friends David and Rhonda. We're going to be talking about medical marijuana. David is a new patient. And so, David, do you want to tell us a little bit about the issues that you'd like to medicate for? And Rhonda, feel free to interject and help us to understand.
Okay, well, I'm a C3-4 quadriplegic.
Okay.
And because of the injury, I have a lot of issues. I have a lot of spasms.
Okay.
And I think because of the level so high up,
Right.
I have more than probably normal for my
Okay.
legs, and especially when I'm sleeping
Mm-hmm.
and or I'm just relaxing. And I have developed over the years, as I gotten older, a lot of neck and shoulder pain
Okay.
and lower back pain.
Mm.
And I've tried regular painkillers, but I mean, sometimes they work, sometimes they don't,
Right.
but they also have side effects which I can't
Right.
afford.
Mm-hmm.
And I need to try to find something where it's not gonna add to them.
Okay. Well,
So-
definitely good medication. It's both good medication as a solo medication and also as an additional medication for people with pain medicines. So I'd like to just kind of go over the basics if you're okay with that.
That's fine.
So the major therapeutic chemicals, or the main therapeutic chemicals in the cannabis, are the cannabinoids. There's approximately 100 of them. They're a class of chemicals that are made in the cannabis plants that are similar in structure to neurotransmitters that we have in our own body. The neurotransmitters work in this system that's called the endocannabinol receptor system. And it controls a lot of body functions, including the immune system, and a lot of other functions that are important. The appetite, that's one of the reasons why people get the munchies. So when you ingest these cannabinoids, one of the effects are to stimulate the system, which a lot of people, there's a lot of research that shows that a lot of people, the system's set way too low, and by increasing the level of activity will benefit the human, the host. The cannabinoids, the two major ones are the THC and the CBD. THC is the famous one that causes the high, the euphoria, which we like in the industry, we like to call that's a side effect that people just really like, rather than some of the other side effects, like nausea and all that. The second is the CBD. The CBD is the one that they use, that's famous for giving kids with seizure disorders with this Charlotte's Web. Okay. Both of these are very good for pain. They're both analgesics. Matter of fact, when you use them together, the analgesic activity is multiplied. We call it synergism. So they're also both anti-inflammatory. The difference is that how they affect the central nervous system. There's a receptor in the central nervous system called the CB1 receptor, and when that's in contact with the THC, it stimulates the nervous system. When it contacts the CBD, it calms the nervous system. So you can see how therapeutically you can use these medications. Okay, so that gives us those different categories. Let me just kind of show you. This company, Leafly, is a company I particularly like because they have a lot of good information on their website. And you can kind of see that that they set it up with the categories, the indicas, the hybrids, and the sativas. Okay. So what I like to think of is you have all these options of how to medicate. You have unlimited. You have all the ratios between the THC and CBD. And you can put them in any of these categories. So you can, in the indica, you can have a high THC, a low THC, a high CBD, low CBD, or any kind of ratio. And you can have that in the indica, the hybrid, or the sativa. How do I choose which one I want to do? I usually go by whether they have any depression. The reason being is the CBD is calming, but the side effects are depression. The CBD decreases the psychoactive effect of the THC, which is also the euphoria, which is the antidepressant effect. So if somebody's depressed, I'm very cautious about using a lot of CBD because I don't want to blunt the therapeutic effect from the THC.
Hello, I'm Brittany. I work with OCPC Meds. We are a local delivery service in Huntington Beach. We have been referring patients to Ari as well as he keeps our business cards on hand. Okay, so I'm just gonna show you some of the products I brought that I think would work good for David and any other patients as well. So I'll start with the two that we make. This is a can butter. We have recently switched to using coconut oil, so people can bake with it and might be a little bit healthier. Second, this is a topical tincture spray. So basically, trimmings have been soaking for up to 6 months. It's alcohol based, so you can spray it onto your skin. You do not eat this kind. It relieves pain if you have muscle or joint pain. I personally have used it on my neck and my wrist, like in cold weather. You might feel like tightness in your wrist, arthritis. It's good for all of that. And then we have a variety of chocolate bars. This is the 50/50 caramel CBD bar. So this is going to give you a lot of relief and
We talked about
relaxation.
the 1-to-1 ratios. That's
So-
just a 1-to-1 ratio. In that, you're not going to really feel the THC.
Yes, this is good for at night. I mean, people, if they're home during the day, you could use it then. I cannot do that because I have to drive a vehicle. So then I brought a couple other things that I think would work well. So we carry a lot of Bang Bar products. So I have the vapor pens. They come in indica, sativa. So I'll just set these out here.
Remember we talked about that?
Okay, so these are vapor pens. They're portable. They come with a battery. It's chargeable by USB. Oh, sorry. And a little carrying case. So this makes it really easy to keep your meds with you. When you don't want it attached to your pen, you can unscrew it and put it back in the case so it stays safe. So those come in sativa, indica, and hybrid. And I think this would work well for you because just starting out trying things, this is not as strong as the actual flowers that people smoke. So you can kind of ease into it. Very relaxing. Okay, let's see what else I brought. So I just brought a variety of the Bang bars, mainly triple strength. They come in 4 flavors. They're 180 milligrams. Each chocolate bar has 4 segments. So technically you could get 4 to 8 doses out of this. Until you know how your body's gonna react to this, you start with the smallest amount. So if you take 1 segment out of the bar and break it in half, that would be what they mean by that. So start small. So yeah, and then that is the Fire Bar. They're just different flavors, cherries and cream, cookies and cream. Ice is a very popular one. It's a peppermint chocolate. And then back to the caramel CBD, which I think is a very favored.
Very popular brand.
Okay, so we also have the Jolly Ranchers. They come in a variety of flavors. These work well. They're not as strong as the medicated chocolate. So a lot of patients have said after this they are relaxed and they feel like they can take a nap. All the tension kind of just settles back down, and these work very well for a lot of people. And then once again, make sure you try it at home and in a safe place because you never know. And then last by Bang Bar is a CBD gum. So this is just a low dose. And it comes in 8 pieces. So you would just chew 1. It's made with hemp oil as well. So there's a lot of things that you can try. So, okay.
You'll have fun.
Yeah. Let's see, what else? Of course, we are a medical dispensary, so we do have about 24 to 25 strains listed on our menu at all times. I did bring 1. I don't know if I'm supposed to show that.
Yeah, you can show it.
Okay, so we brought-
I just don't want to smoke it.
So the pen is something you would use like during the day,
Yeah,
and then the edibles are before you go to bed.
that's
sleep
the
at
way
night.
I recommend to do it in the beginning, just because they can be strong.
Hi guys, welcome. This is my segment on some of my favorite products that I think you should definitely have in your cannabis therapy, no matter what. I think one of the things patients struggle with is they get relief from cannabis and then their symptoms come back and they don't know why. And a lot of it, with some of the research I've been doing working with patients as a caregiver the last 2 years, is that patients don't absorb the medication and the cannabinoids from the brownies and the cookies. So sometimes we have to change the type of delivery to a sublingual. Sprays are really good, tinctures are really good, or even better is a buccal delivery. So what's buccal mean? Buccal means cheek, and it's actually absorbed all of it through the oral mucosa. So these are troches. It's the pharmaceutical cannabis lozenge. If you haven't heard of them, I feel really bad for you, so you should probably get some of them right away. And what's so awesome about this product is you really truly absorb what you buy. So if you're purchasing 50 milligrams, you're dissolving right here into this lozenge, into your bloodstream, really close to what you're purchasing. So do you guys have any questions about any of the products?
Yeah, what's the difference between the tincture and the salve?
Okay, so what's the difference between a tincture and a salve? So a tincture is literally an extract of cannabis oil in glycerin or alcohol, and you take it under your tongue. And a salve is going to be something you put on your skin. So topicals cannot get you high, and a tincture, since it goes through your mouth, it does get you high. So I always recommend to do multiple deliveries. So use a topical and definitely go systemically as well.
And how long do is it lozenges the right?
The lozenge,
Okay,
this is a troche.
okay.
So you can call it a troche. The troche lasts about 4 to 6 hour duration, but it has such a long half-life in the body, so it can really truly give you a remission for a couple days if you're in pain. We have patients that they dose every other day or every 3 days, and a lot of that is due because cannabis is known by the body as not a foreign substance. It's an endogenous substance, and that's why the body stores it as a vital nutrient.
I always say cannabis is more like a vitamin, not like oxy where your body tries to get out before you die. It actually will store it. That's why people test positive for up to a couple of weeks. So that certainly doesn't sound like something the body sees as a problem.
Yeah, so the body really is like, it's lingering there, and you're getting pain relief into the next day. You're dosing at night. That's an optimal time. We can give you this psychoactive THC medicine, and if you're a little bit goofy and high, you're asleep, so it doesn't even matter.
When do you know the high? What's okay to expect? And like a normal, you want to relax at night, but you want to start reducing the pain. When do you know it's working or it's
Okay.
too much?
What I always recommend is you start low. Everything with marijuana is start low, and you gradually work your way up until you just find that your perfect zone. And there's no rules on that. We usually typically patients with edibles. I typically start at between 5 and 15 milligrams based on weight. But with cancer patients, we're pushing people up to 1,000 milligrams a day with 300 milligram doses. There's a lot of room for moving around. Back to there's no right or wrong answer, and the body stores these cannabinoids.
Okay. Another question, you mentioned earlier about somebody having knee surgery. There's this kind of thing, cannabis, with arthritis, like arthritis of the knees and...
Absolutely.
Yeah, so one of my main patients, a lot of them, they come in for arthritis. That's one of the big things. And they take high dose cannabis, usually on the weekends. I've got a patient who's a teacher, and she's got to be up at 5:30, so she'll take a big dose over the weekend, and her knee won't bother her until maybe Wednesday. So because that long half-life in the body, you can do so much, over the weekend. And it stops the pain, and then your body lets you know when you need to dose again.
Well, I know with David, he has osteoporosis.
Mm-hmm.
And so the pain can be a very deep,
Mm-hmm.
it can be agonizing at times. Now, I know with the opiates that he has a lot of difficulties with, they'll do that, get ahead of it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, is that the same thing then with the cannabis, just like what you're saying, just get ahead of it, don't wait till you're in that very painful
There's a lot of
stage.
different ways to medicate because there's so many different methods you can use cannabis, including all the topicals, the patches, so because of that and the different onset of effects, the different durations, there's almost unlimited possibilities.
Because I know he knows it's going to be a bad night, so he he starts getting anxiety about even going to sleep. So
Okay.
sleep doesn't represent relaxation,
Okay.
wake up nice. It's actually anxiety causing because
Okay.
it's bad.
Okay, this will definitely help.
Okay.
But both of those will help. Like I said, the difference is if you do the CBD, it's just going to take the CBD with the THC 1-to-1 ratios, good pain control, good calming, good sleep. You're just not going to have any euphoria. You know, I like it, but you know,
So
I think being happy helps the pain go down. So the other option would be to do something like we talked about with some indica effects, which is do the essential oils, and that's just going to make
that's
you a little
the
happy and
euphoria.
make
So
you.
it feels like you've done something. You've taken something, and you're going to feel good and sleep good.
It just depends on what you like. So you have those two choices for night.
Okay.
If you do those and you start feeling like you feel a little like drugged in the morning, that means you want to go to less body effects. So you can
Okay.
go more towards the sativa, away from the indica. Does that make sense?
Okay, so it's not taking less of that particular.
You could do either one.
Okay.
There, like I said, there's not one way to do this. There's a million ways.
Okay.
So let's just talk about sleep. Okay, a lot of different options. If you want to sleep through the night, typical edibles are a good way to go because that's the only thing that's going to last a really long time. Okay, so now edibles take up to 2 hours to take effect. So a lot of times, you might want to put that in the mix, and you might want to take them anywhere from an hour or 2 hours before bed. Another thing about edibles is you might want to split the dose. Okay, whatever dose you're going to take, split it. Take half before and half after. So if you're going to take 10 milligrams, take 5 milligrams at 7:30, 5 milligrams at 8:30.
Okay.
By spacing out, it just gives a lot more, makes it a little bit more even.
Okay.
Okay.
I guess until you get used to it, you're still able to drive, and if you need be, and
Okay. So about driving, the acidics. What I recommend is when you're starting out, I'd be very cautious about driving until you really know what you're doing. And the problem is you don't. When you're high or medicated, you might not really recognize it. So I would be very cautious and let somebody else drive as much as possible until you know what you're doing. Generally, the edibles last so long, I would probably not. I wouldn't drive after those. Generally, I would take the edibles. If you're going to take the edibles at 8, I would drive the next day. Okay. About the inhalation usually lasts about an hour, hour and a half. I would give it at least 3 hours after, and that's usually good for that, and the effect should be worn off. If there's a question, just don't do it. If you're smoking a lot, but typically, for me, 45 minutes to an hour, it's gone.
Okay.
If I smoke.